So, Zenless Zone Zero 1.2. What's coming out? What's happening? Let's talk about it, because we got quite a lot to talk about. I found a good website that just kind of summarizes it all. We're just going to get into it, thoughts and feelings and all of that. So let's do it. Let's start off with the big elephant in the room. So, Rat Infatuation is now officially over when 1.2 happens. You know, Jane Doe will be going away. And for all of those people who did not get her, I'm sorry that you're not going to be able to figure out just how good Anomaly is. Trust me, right? I didn't even know how good it was until I got Jane Doe, and now I can't use any other team because the damage that she does is just so nuts compared to everything else I have, alright? So, you know, I'm not saying that she's like, oh my god, she's super bulked, you've got to get her, but if you really like the character, it's worth going for her because she's absolutely insane. And it did help that I got her in 110 pull, and her weapon in 110 pull. It definitely helps. But, you know, those are just the way that the cookies crumble. But Rat Infatuation is out of the window. Ching Yi has gone to bed already. 1.1 is over and 1.2 is here. Sons of Calydon, the Outer Ring. We got biker gangs. We've got oil rigs. We've got the American military coming down because there's... Wait, hold on. No, wait. Maybe not that. But it looks like it's going to be an interesting story. We still don't know, like, a ton about it. We know that there's a guy called Pompey, who's, like, the Overlord, and Caesar wants to become the Overlord, so I'm going to assume there's something to do with that. But we still don't know too much, which is great, because I don't want to know too much before we actually start playing the game. But the new characters, they are, of course, Caesar, Burnice. You know, good designs. I'm not a fan of Caesar. Like, the more I look at her, the more I'm like, nah, easiest skip of my life. Like, I'm sure she'll be good, but here's the thing, and I want you guys to remember this. I'm gonna say this in every video about every single gacha game until it's drilled into people's minds. Do not pull because a character is balked, okay? Can we stop doing this for once in our lives, alright? Power creep exists. People are going to be able to fill way more niche areas the more the game goes on. Like, you know, Fei Zhao is a follow-up wind, you know, example for Star Rail, you know? She does a ton of damage. She's wind. She's follow-up. She's, like, so niche, but also so balked. And this is where we're going to get to with Zenless eventually. Pull for the characters you like, okay? Don't go for Caesar because she's balked. Go for Caesar because you like her. Just same with Burnice. Don't go for Burnice because she's balked. Go for Burnice because you want to go for Burnice, right? Like, more characters are going to come along. They're going to do what they do. Maybe even better. Maybe even in more of a niche scenario that you specifically need at that time. You know, at the end of the day, don't worry. That being said, we're going for Burnice. And it's going to be simple as all hell, right? Because I don't have to fight the 50-50, because I was going for more copies of Seth. I don't think I got any, which is a damn shame. I think I might have got like one more copy of Seth, because I got one copy after the recording. Actually, I got a copy of Seth during the recording, and then OBS said no, and completely corrupted everything past the Jane Doe summons, hence why that video was so short. But I think I got one more copy of Seth, and I was trying to go for another, and I got another early 5-star. Like 40 summons in, it was Calydon. I have a fifth. I have a guarantee. We will be getting Burnice. It's gonna happen. And I will win. And I will get her in 110 pull. I don't know if I'm gonna go for a weapon. If I get her in 110 pull, I'm going for a weapon. I don't care. I don't have a guarantee on that, but that's just fun. Let's just do it. Why not? That's my PSA when it comes to the characters. Both look cool. Caesar really ain't my cup of tea. Burnice is like a character I think is really, really cool. Her character seems fun as well, and she works well with Jane, hence why I got Jane Doe in the first place. So why not, you know? Why not? But again, only go for the characters you like, especially this early on. I feel like this has been a thing with Wuthering and Zenless all the damn time. Just go for characters you like, man. But now that we've gotten that out of the way, now that we've gotten Caesar and Burnice talk out of the way, let's actually get on with the article and everything it says here. So, events. There are a lot of events coming, and that's a really, really cool thing, right? I love it when these games give us more stuff to do. I'm hoping they're relatively short, because if there's a lot, then they better be short. This is one thing that happened in 1.1 which I am getting a review ready for like a day or two before 1.2 comes out, just being like, once again, I played 1.1 so you didn't have to, and I've kind of got my thoughts on the events there. But let's see. Overlord's Feast, renovate an old diner and bring it back to its glory days. Okay, and that also, that's where the Lucy comes from. So you get a free Lucy. Lucy's pretty good. I don't really like her as a design or a character, but she's pretty cool. You know, like, I've been using her on the Jane Doe team. No issues there. Bizarre Brigade, a new minigame. Okay, so that's a new minigame one. That's a new arcade game. Cool. Roaming the Ether. Extract information from a vintage computer the cunning hares found. Okay. That's specifically polychrome, so I'm going to assume that's just like one mission. Redo for you. Solve puzzles at a newsstand. Rewards include polychromes, boupons, and name cards. So, name cards are pretty cool because they're going to become vanity pieces eventually, right? Like, I'm sure there are people who are flaunting their E6 Jane Does and their Ellens and their Zhu Yuans and their Qing Yis, and it's gonna happen, right? But I want them to release a bulked event that's really difficult to do. Maybe not right now because that would incentivize spending a lot of money, but maybe in like a year's time, give us like a completely bulked event that doesn't require a specific team, but rather for you to actually like be really good at the game, and give us a really specific name card for that. Think sort of like shout outs to my Final Fantasy 14 people, right? Think of it as like when you get the custom like title for doing like Palace of the Dead and Heaven on High just on your own, that kind of thing, right? Give us an event that's like super bulked, that's like really difficult but still doable with like quite a few teams. Obviously, you can't make it like a 4 stars can do it. You have to set a limit at some point, right? But don't make it super specific where it's like, oh, you have to use the new 5-star coming out to do it. Give us that. Give us a really like fun, cool design name card, and let that be like a vanity item. Because I'd absolutely grind my ass off to get something like that, right? I'd love that to death, but doesn't need to be done, but I think it'd be sick, right? Like, come on. 1-for-1 friendship fair. So I think they had this in 1.1. This is just really simple. You can check if it is the same as last time, what they want, farm for it day 1, and then you're fine for the rest of the days. Phantom Hunt. Rain has some combat commissions. Nice. I do love the combat fights. Data bounty, double drop rate. Okay, so these are like double drop things, which are really nice. Always make sure that you're planning stuff in advance for these specific dates whenever they're coming out. 10 limited banner summons and 10 boupons. So pretty standard stuff with the temples. I feel like it's just become like a thing now when it comes to like Star Rail, Zenless, and even Wuthering, where it's like, hey, here's 10 pulls, enjoy yourself. Now Wuthering gives us like 5 standard, 5 limited, and like we can talk about that another time. But the fact that we get 10 pulls in most gacha games now is pretty nuts. It's pretty good. Okay, so here's the next big thing, alright? And I'm going to try and read this bar for bar. Starting with Zenless Zone Zero Update 1.2, you'll be able to switch between Belle and Wise, your protagonist, whenever you want. That's cool. They have also announced that you can do that with Caesar and Burnice. For now, I'm going to assume that you're going to need Caesar or Burnice to use them. But come 1.4, we're going to be able to use any agent that we have, right? Which, if you didn't need a reason to summon for the characters you liked before, now's the time, because now you get to use them everywhere, right? When you're doing your dailies, when you're just moving around. Man, I don't want to think about how many people are going to use Jane Doe because of the goddamn jiggle physics, but you know what? If you want to do that, go ahead. I see what you're doing, and I salute you. I think this is a great thing. They've been saying it since like 1.0 that they wanted to do this at some point, but it just took them a little bit of time. They're showing us what they can do in 1.2, and they're just going to make it like widespread, like everybody in 1.4, which is going to be great. Can't ask for more than that. I know some people are like, ah, man, 1.4, which probably means, does that mean we're not going to get it until like January? What, every patch is like 6 weeks. I'm actually going to crunch the numbers here. December 18th. So, in theory, we should have being able to choose any agent you want just to walk around with in, like, December, I think. But they might do it in January. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. New backup battery allows you to store surplus, so reserve energy. Very nice. Very nice. Preset squads. Very good. Freely changing the time of day. That's also great. Let's just talk about the fact that they're doing a lot of refining and a lot of just like quality of life improvements, which are just fantastic, right? Proves they're listening. It's the small things like actively being able to change the time of day however you want. It's been one of the things that's really been annoying me with the grind recently. Is like I'm trying to get like agent trust levels up at the moment, and that takes a while. So being able to change the day freely and change the time gonna work out really well. Having reserve energy is good. Means you don't have to be worried about the grind anymore. Obviously, if you want to do your dailies, you can. But if you're like, I really don't want to have to use all of my energy today, you don't have to. And then preset squads. That's brilliant, right? Like, that's something that every game should really have. Just makes it easier to get teams going. New drive disc sets. So finally, I'm going to be able to actually, like, kind of try and talk about my knowledge of the game, I guess you could say. Chaos Jazz. Plus 30 anomaly proficiency for a 2-piece. That's pretty nice. The 4-piece. Plus 15% fire damage and electric damage. So this is a Burnice and a Grace piece. Boost damage dealt by EX special attacks and assist attacks while off field and shortly after being switched in. So this is very much a Burnice specific piece. Really. It really is. It does also, because of electric, it could have Grace implications, but I feel like this bit specifically screams Burnice. So do not farm for Burnice yet until this comes out, which I'm sure will come out as soon as 1.2's out. So do not. And I have 4 tuning calibrators. Save it up. And I will be using all of them to get what I need on Burnice, because I pretty much have my Jane built up to a point where I'm happy with it. So, and then we have Proto Punk, plus 15% shield effect for a 2-piece, and then plus 15% damage for all squad members when any member triggers defensive assist or invasive assist. So this is like your Caesar piece, your Ben piece, your Seth piece. This will be good for Seth, I think. I really do think this is going to be a good Seth piece, because you're probably going to want to run 4 on that, just because this is so much. But hey, what do I know? Somebody's going to go, you don't run that on Seth, you run that on Caesar, because you're going to get I'm not getting Caesar. I've got Seth, and I have Ben. Ben might actually work really well with that, because he already does damage. That's like kind of Ben's thing. If you run him on like the stun set, 2-piece, and then 4-piece Proto Punk, you might be onto something. A new game mode called Investigator Training Course will be available, allowing players to dive into advanced combat mechanics and providing XP for characters. Okay. Hollow Zero Blitz Withering Garden will allow you to make Hollow Zero runs without engaging with the TVs. Alright, so to all of you that don't like TVs, then they're hearing you, man. I'm kind of impartial to the TVs. After playing the game for, what, like 2 months at this point, I feel like the TVs are fine. You encounter them less and less as the game goes on. I feel like it's that early grind of TV can very much weigh you down. But now, I barely run into TVs unless I'm doing like Hollow Zero. So, and I think that's it. Let me just check. Oh, and then they also said they're going to be speeding up many animations or making TV sections skippable, which again just implies like, hey, they like the TV mechanics, but they understand that a lot of people that play this game don't. W devs. W devs, W engines, you know? But yeah, no, 1.2 is looking really, really good. We will be pulling for Burnice when she comes out. Hopefully save up enough summons to get her. I have no pity built up, so this could be a rough one, but I have a guarantee, so I'm never gonna worry too much. The future's looking good for Zenless. It's weird how when this game came out, I was kind of optimistic, I kind of wasn't, and now it's like probably the game I like the most out of all the gachas I'm playing. Star Rail's kind of getting back to that, but that's only because Topaz is coming out very, very soon. And yeah, it's about time I finally got her. So that's why I'm putting in the work on Star Rail. But let me know what you guys think of 1.2. Are you excited for it? Who are you pulling for? Are you going to skip both Caesar and Burnice? Or are you going to go for both? Or are you only going to go for one? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on it. And yeah, see ya.